and it's getting really just terrible in India. So a girl was raped pretty badly, subhanAllah. But this time, at least they arrested one guy. So one guy took the fall, but she was raped 13 times. So go explain that. It's like an unbelievable situation. This girl, she just gets raped many times. One guy gets arrested. So let's read the story about this Muslimah. I mean, nobody cares for these people. All the Muslim nations are handcuffed, right? They're all handcuffed because they're all on the hook financially to some nation or other. Okay, we're in Lalitpur. Familiar with Lalitpur? You're India or Pakistan?
I'm Indian.
You're in. So Lalitpur, you familiar with that?
Slightly.
Okay. UP. What's UP?
UP is like one of the northern states.
What's it called? Urdush province?
Yes.
Urtan province or something? Yeah. Okay. So in UP, Lalitpur, UP, Lucknow. I know that. I'm familiar with that. There's one of the ulama. His name is Lucknowi. A 13-year-old girl is raped. Okay. Again and again and again, while she's in the charge of Uttar Pradesh, Lalitpur. Okay. When she had gone there to register the complaint, she goes to register the complaint, she gets raped again. The teen alleged. No, she alleged. Okay, but in the light of all that's happening in India, I tend to believe it. Yeah. Because all the stuff that's going on to the Muslims of India would make you believe what she's saying is true. She alleged she was raped by 4 men. I said 13 times. I meant she was 13 years old. But she was raped by 4 men. I confused like her age and the amount of time she got raped. And then she went to the police station to file a complaint with a relative. All right. At the station house officer, Tilakdari Saroj, he was arrested because he then raped her. She went to file the complaint to him, and he raped her. Well, obviously, we can believe her because he got arrested. So there must be some evidence. Nobody just gets arrested from just a claim, especially a cop. All cops posted at the police station where the alleged incidents take place have been removed from duty because every time there's a crime, there are people who witness that crime, and they did nothing. So you're as guilty. A DIG, I don't know what that means, level officer will investigate the case and file a report within 24 hours. The FIR, another acronym that we don't know what it means, filed by the girl's father on Tuesday stated that she was lured by 4 men and taken to Bhopal on April 22, where they raped her for 4 days. Wow. The accused then brought her back to her village and dropped her off at the police station before escaping. Wait a second. You rape a girl and you drop her off at the police station? That doesn't add up. Doesn't make any sense, does it? The accused police station in charge then handed over the girl to her aunt, the complaint stated, adding that she was called to the police station the next day to record her statement. Why would you drop her off, then ask her to come back to record your statement? Why don't you take her statement right then and there? This whole story is weird. Next day, the accused official took the girl inside a room in the presence of her aunt and raped her in front of the girl's aunt. How bizarre is this story? I mean, do you notice that every step of the story makes no sense? So they lure her. They take her far away. They rape her for 4 days. Oh, then they have the courtesy to bring her back to her town. Not only that, they bring her back to the police station, which that makes no sense. Then the police station delivers her to her aunt and says, oh, by the way, come again tomorrow to fill out a complaint. How does that make sense? And then she goes to fill out the complaint. Then in front of the aunt, they rape her again. Okay. The girl's aunt has also been named as someone accused. Are you following this on your phone? Do you have it on your story?
No.
Okay, you realize that? Yeah. Okay, maybe if you get something else, you can read it to us. But, so the girl's aunt is complicit. Now, the aunt is like a mother. An aunt's supposed to love her niece. Why is she allowing that this girl be raped? So, Lalitpur police said they have charged the official for rape. And under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offenses Act, I don't know India had such laws, but they have one, he's charged. The SHO, I guess, The whole article is acronyms that they don't name, which is just like terrible journalism. The SHO is suspended, and he is named criminal. So we have formed a team to arrest him. An NGO brought the girl to my office. She had given them the details. After I was informed of it, I ensured that a case was filed, said the police chief of Lalitpur. Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi slammed the state government and said the alleged rape incident shows how genuine law and order reforms are being suppressed in the noise of bulldozers. The gang rape of a 13-year-old girl, she says, in Lalitpur, and then her rape by the police in charge when she went to file a complaint shows how genuine law and order reforms are being suppressed in the noise of bulldozers. If police stations are not safe for women, then where will they go to make complaint? She said in a tweet. Okay. Anonymous says this only happens in UP. Is it like a bad area, UP?
UP is like the center of like BJP. It's where
the Hindu,
like where like the
all the
central,
Hindu stuff.
Yep, all of that
Hindu stuff is happening.
Hindu stuff is going on there.
All right. So that is a weird. Are we good, Rai? Good. This is really weird. The whole story is really odd. You know, why would the aunt be involved, right?
So this is very interesting about like the structure of the police. Like I think UP is. So I'm going to be reading. There's an author.
Yeah.
His name is Ashutosh. He's a Brown University professor, and he wrote a book on the ethnic conflict in civil life, Hindus and Muslims in India. Okay. Right, and his one of his theses that he's writing, like that he explores, is the concept of whether like you can define this as a riot or something more serious than a riot. The term that they're using. So there were riots in India like the past, and I think in like early February, Marchish. Mm-hmm. So he's saying that these riots are not simply riots, right? They're on a level higher than that, mm-hmm. right? It's pogroms. Okay. Which is a special class of riots when it's no longer simply a clash between two mobs or groups. Instead, the police are siding with one group either by looking away or by abetting and sometimes even directly participating in the violence. So
that's what's going on.
That's what he's.
What is he calling it?
It's pogroms.
Pogroms, yeah. This is what happened in Europe, and this is what's happening now.
So he explains like the idea about the police structure in Delhi, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's somewhat similar to how we have police structure in DC. Like Delhi is a very he says Delhi is a unique structure for police operations. In every other part of India, the police report to the state government and not to the central government because law and order is defined as a state's subject by India's constitution. But Delhi's police reports to the central government, not to the state government. Technically, Delhi is not a full-fledged state, somewhat like DC.
I see. Okay.
The fact that the central government is led by the BJP would therefore make Modi's government responsible for law and order in Delhi. And the minister.
So the capital directly.
Yeah. So you're dealing with. You are under whoever's in power right now.
That's
so
why.
You report directly to them.
I see. There's no state.
There's no state government.
It's straight to the federal.
Straight to the federal.
I got you. Okay. Well, that's how it always is. Like Sayyidina Umar was the Amir of Medina. No. He was the Wali of Medina as well as the Khalifa of the entire Ummah. That's usually how the capital is.
No.
Yeah.
But the government, the capital that exists currently right now, like with this BJP in power and Modi in power, it's obviously not very sympathetic.
Of course. So that's why UP is it's all happening in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see if this one is on UP. So now the question is, someone saying, we know what's going to happen in the subcontinent. Why do we need to discuss it? But not everyone knows about the subcontinent. Like, if I didn't do this episode, I wouldn't know about the subcontinent. Yeah. Like, I force when we do this on Wednesdays, it forces me to read about what's going on. That's number one. Number two, if a wrong thing happens and no one says anything, that's the first way that everyone's going to get away with it.
Yeah, no one pays attention.
No one pays attention. So, in the absence of having power to change something, is making noise about it. No. Right? And we even have that from the seed of the Prophet ﷺ. A man was abusing his neighbor, and there was nothing like really criminal that he was doing. He couldn't take him to court. He couldn't change him. So what did the Prophet say? He said, take all your furniture out of the house. If people say, what is this? Because it's odd. You have all your furnishings outside your house. So you're catching attention. He said, then tell them, my neighbor's abusing me. So get attention and then tell everybody. So there, in the absence of being able to change anything, you have to talk about it. But also, it's from the, and if you were oppressed, wouldn't it at least make you feel a little bit better that the rest of the ummah is talking about you, right? Yeah. At least feels a little bit better. Now, they might not know, but Allah's watching, and He sees what we're doing, and we're having concern with the affairs of the ummah. So as bad as it is, okay? But you got to see what kind of ni'mah that we're in, and what kind of fitna that they're in, because they're bearing the brunt. And so are the Palestinians, so are the Uyghurs and the Rohingyans and Kashmiris. Their Kashmiris are getting fired on with the type of bullet used to kill animals, which is the bullet that sprays. Because let's say there's a couple animals coming at you, or one big one, and you're afraid, so you won't shoot properly. So they have a bullet that actually explodes in the air, and huh?
It's called, I think, bird shot.
Yeah, it's a bird shot. Oh, maybe it's used for birds too. It just fires, it sprays like a firework. Yeah. They do that, and what happens is it inevitably blinds everybody. People get blinded by it. So
like lead pellets.
It's a little lead pellet.
And they're actually poison. If you get like lead pellets that are left in your body, like the lead seeps out, and if you have a high concentration of lead, it's poisonous for your body.
That's what they use on the Kashmiri Muslims. So you have people blind. Like the number of people who are blinded is really high. What were you going to say?
I was going to say it's also like almost a point of tasawwuf as well. Like, how is your heart going to ache for these individuals if you don't even know? If you don't read their story, you have to read their stories, right? You got to see what's going on. How are you going to make like deep, sincere dua for them?
Yeah, exactly. If you're not moved.
You're not moved because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and you got to be moved, and you got to know the details of what's going on with them. And sometimes it may be gory details, but that's what's going to move your heart. And I don't even believe in this way of talib ilm anymore, the old way of student of knowledge and worship and whatever, and he goes into a hut for 5 years and comes out. To me, I would really consider that to be very damaging in a number of ways. Like the first way is that when you do that, when you come out, you're going to be so disconnected from everything else. You're going to end up spending probably 5 years catching up with how the world's changed around you. Secondly, all of our nearness to Allah Ta'ala in this day and age is not by a lot of ibadah. It's by khidmah. And the ibadah that we do, the dhikr that we do, is supposed to help us have the patience and the sabr to do khidmah. Right? That's really what it is. It's fueling us to purify our intention and have the patience to do this service to the ummah. We're not going to be elevating in ranks in this day and age because of a lot of ibadah. Like our ibadah will be washed out by one of our sins. Just one sin today is so gross, it'll wash out. Half of our wealth and our food is tainted with riba, right? Who knows where our food's even coming from? Even if you did due diligence, you never really know. There's always going to be something you consume that's bad. Everything around us. So yeah, we do a lot of ibadah, but what is a function of our worship? To purify our intention and to fuel us with the sabr, the patience, okay? And to bring nur down to ourselves that we could share with others. That's the whole point. The ummah is in dire need of sharing at this point, right away. Any resource that you have, it's all hands on deck. So that's the idea of when we're calling for a path of 3 maqasid: ilm, suluk, and da'wah. We seek knowledge, we have spirituality, and we do da'wah. Part of that is being in touch with the different facets of the ummah, right? And what we can control right here, all of us, we can control is we can post stuff online. Anybody could do that. It's the least, but it's the one most everyone has. We also have, alhamdulillah, with this soup kitchen, every Wednesday we're meeting absolute strangers, non-Muslims, absolute strangers. By the way, just to show you as like a sign of, I guess, a good sign, a Spanish guy walks by today, big smile on his face, and he gives me a fist bump. Right? I guess he's been here before, right? So he likes us. That's a sign. Yeah. This guy is a complete stranger Who would have reached him for Islam before this? And we don't do any explicit dawah. We do zero explicit dawah. It's all implicit. We're not getting in people's faces, but they know we're Muslim. The one thing that we are is we're outwardly Muslim. Sometimes Ryan's wearing a thobe. Sometimes other people are wearing thobes.
All the time.
Ryan, you wear a thobe for the dinners, right? Sometimes, right? Whatever it is, be natural. Yeah, we know. And we're not, it's not orchestrated. It's just by naturally. And as a principle, we are open about being Muslim. Why? Because at some point, we were doing this dawah for like years, giving out the food, and some guy thought we were from a church. And I was like, after all this time, he thinks we're from a church. That's not good, right? What's the point of all this, right? It's not like he didn't know what we're about. He thought we're about something opposite of what we are. Yeah. So we're like, all right, from now on, we got to wear some mark of Islam. So that's what we do. And so we do have that sphere of control. We do have the local masjid, MBIC, where we're headquartered, where the youth need help, man. Like the public school youth, Islamic school youth, homeschool youth. Homeschool is probably the safest ones, but the Islamic school youth they also need support. Public school youth need even more support, because when you see them come in, they're like a fish out of water sometimes, right? And I can just tell from my classes, like the basics are not being transmitted to them. They need support. Everyone needs support. College youth. So all of our students have to be there. They got to be contributing in some way, shape, and form. So we're studying, and we have dhikr nights, and we have all that, and i'tikaf, and all that stuff. But we have to be right away involved in these three facets. And for the ummah at large, our action on that front is the most passive. It's essentially just reading and having a feeling in our heart and making a dua for them.
So, a question on this, right?
Yeah.
We read all these stories every week.
Yeah, bring it.
We read all these stories every week, and
yeah.
Obviously, to a certain extent, we get normalized to it. We don't feel as much in our heart.
Yeah.
And part of that is also these stories are so distant from us. We also lack feeling in that sense of us. So, like from these dimensions, it's hard for us to connect emotionally with them.
Good point.
And even perhaps on a spiritual level, then it becomes difficult to connect on a spiritual level as well.
Yeah.
So what are some means or some ways to remedy that?
All right, so that brings up a good problem. So sometimes you look at one step of action that looks like the right step, but you know for sure it's going to produce the second problem, all right? Okay. What you just mentioned. I always look at it like this. You can never get the full solution to something right away. Rather, what you do is you eliminate the biggest problem. You worry about the secondary problem later. So what's the biggest problem is not even talking about it at all, right? Like no mention of it at all. That's the essential problem. So the worst thing in a country could ever do, and you know this in history from World War I and World War II, is fight on East and West. You cannot fight two enemies at once. You only fight one enemy at a time. So that's how I always look at it. So what you're saying is 100% right. And I haven't really thought about that because we're just on the issue of removing the first issue, which is having no concern for the issue at all, or no mention of the issue at all. So we can discuss this, and we can see what people say about it too, in terms of if we keep reading these stories, we read about Palestine all the time, we get sort of numb to it. It becomes a norm, right? And how do we handle that? I think it's no different to ikhlas. When we make salah, salah becomes a norm. So why should I feel any khushu' when I'm making salah? Recitation of the Quran. The Quran is like a norm to you. If you hear the Quran, you're not like, wow, what is that, right? Well, guess who else said that? Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq. Abu Bakr Siddiq said that he loved to watch the new Muslims hear the Quran for the first time. He says because he no longer has, as a veteran Muslim, that same like awe. Likewise, when you have a baby and he's discovering like ants for the first time, it's fun to watch them discover that, but you have it's not new to you, right? Same thing with as a teacher of Deen, discovering when a youth discovers like madhab for the first time or dhikr for the first time. The joy at a certain point is watching other people discover it, right? So you have developed in a sense that yes, I may not be the one who's shocked by it, But we can go to another level. I'm no longer surprised by this stuff, but we could take this to another level now, because now we can influence others. We could spread the news to others. So yeah, I'm no longer shocked that Israel is doing something to the Palestinians, or the Indians to the Muslims, the Hindus to the Muslims. But we move on beyond that now, to being able to maybe expand our influence to spreading the news to others. And I personally think that's where it's going to end. None of us are equal to a state. The entire country of Pakistan can do zip for India. And no offense to anyone who loves their country, Pakistan. I love Pakistan. I want to go to Pakistan. I love the idea that they made a country just for Muslims, built upon like Islamic Republic of Pakistan. That's what it's called, right?
I think that's more Afghanistan nowadays than Pakistan.
Afghanistan?
Afghanistan is more like, if you hear about like what's going on the ground in Afghanistan, and even like Western Pakistan.
Yeah.
These guys are very strong. Like,
yeah, but except that I don't get the idea that you just fly into Afghanistan and check into a hotel and hang out, right? But I do get that. You can't do that, right?
No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work like that in Afghanistan. But I get that from Pakistan. I could probably go in there, call a friend, hit up a friend at WhatsApp. Hey, you know anyone who could show me around? I can meet up with someone, have dinner. I guarantee you, if I stopped in Pakistan right now, drop me anywhere in Pakistan, I could put out a message to some friends. Hey, I'm in XYZ city. You know where I could go, any shuyukh, any circles, and within 2 hours, I'll be with somebody one connection away, right? 1 degree of separation away. We'll be going to a daras, going to a masjid, going to a restaurant in one day. I don't think that's the case in Afghanistan, unless you know someone in Fremont.
I think it's different between East and West Pakistan.
Yeah.
East Pakistan is more like developed, and I think you would have an easier time. Like it's like a city. Like it's like go to like New York, or like going to a foreign city, like
Pakistan, right?
Yeah. As Eastern Pakistan.
Eastern Pakistan is like
Western Pakistan, like more the mountainous area. You're going into like where the Pashtun ethnic Pashtun people are.
I'm scared of those guys.
Those guys are.
I don't want to mess around with those guys.
Those guys, you need to have a guide. You need to have someone like hold your hand and take you around.
Where was I invited last week? Last Mawlid season?
I remember it was. Do you remember where it was?
It's where Yahya is from.
Yeah.
Yahya, where are you from?
Peshawar. I was invited to Peshawar, and everyone's like, Peshawar, right? You got to go with somebody, as if it's some other world inside of Pakistan, right? And they're like, oh, you can get shot, right? You can get killed, you can get kidnapped, right? So Peshawar, I think, was a big deal, right? But I've always said I want to go to Pakistan. First of all, number one, if I want to go to any Islamic country, I want to go to the old district. I don't want to go to the modernized district. What's the point? So if I'm going to go to Pakistan, I don't want to go to the big cities. I want to go to the Peshawar-like areas.
Yes.
The areas where it's old-fashioned, right? Where things haven't changed as much. That's the joy of it, right? See, my dad actually was, when he retired and my mom retired, they had nothing to do. Ended up, circumstances made them move to Qatar. They end up moving to Qatar, and they joined the doing Qatar. So they joined the, I think, Qatari Red Crescent. That ended up moving them to Kashmir after the earthquake. My dad was an engineer. My dad was like management, and my mom was a physician.
The Red Crescent.
Red Crescent is the opposite of the Red Cross, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a relief. Yeah, it's a relief.
Wow, that's really big.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a relief organization. So they end up going there, and my dad ends up managing the building of a pedestrian bridge that was destroyed, the building of it, and my mom treats patients. No electricity, no running water, right? Yeah. And you had to go down into Pakistan to get your supplies and come back up to Kashmir, to that village of Kashmir. And my dad said he would go down every day. And there would be places in this area, and he would get a piece of the bread, naan, I guess, right? Yeah. He said this thing was made, like the wheat was from a farm like 2 minutes away. It was made right in front of him they put the bread against the wall of an oven, right? and it's an old guy doing it, and then he puts like straight ghee or butter on butter, I guess, right? Ghee is butter, right? On top of the stuff. He says it's dripping, and then the tea, dark chai, first thing in the morning, and it's cold, like the weather's cold. You're exhaling, and the vape, it's coming out because it's so. You're in the mountains. And hot piece of bread, hot piece of tea, hot cup of tea, and he said he downed the whole naan, right, with all that butter and the tea. He's like, that was the best, breakfast that he's ever had, right? Straight cultural stuff, right? No, processed foods, straight. And he said, you work so hard, you burn off all that stuff. Like, you're going to work so hard during the day and walk and stuff. What's so funny?
It's like we were having iftar in the haram, and these guys they take a can of tuna.
Yeah.
Put the tuna on the ground. They take some bread. They take some cheese, and it's just like.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. There's a lot of barakah in that kind of eating. Listen to this. Maliki Click says, call the people to dinner with a galahorn and horned Viking helm. So, bro, the Viking food, Scandinavian food, what do they eat? What is Scandinavian food? It's like gefilte fish.
I'm disconnected.
It's gefilte fish. It's like, it's like fish.
You know what they say about the Western Pakistanis, though, right? Like
what?
I think I was talking to Waleed, who's from Pakistan, and we met some of these, like Western Pakistanis from like Waziristan and Peshawar and places like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, these are the Vikings of Pakistan. Like these guys,
these are the hardcores.
These are the hardcore guys. Yeah. You don't mess with these guys.
No, you don't mess with these. These are the old school. This is like borderline Afghanistan, right?
This is the people in Eastern Pakistan are scared of you. Like that's how it is. Yeah.
These guys are holding it down. All right, now check this out. Perpetual violence, India's dangerous new pattern of communal tensions. As a national campaign by right-wing groups inflames local tensions, Muslim communities are facing the harshest punishments, according to activists, analysts, and retired officials. Okay? And they have this being written by three Hindus are the authors of this in the New York Times. Kargan, India, the authorities sent bulldozers to the small city in central India within 24 hours of clashes between Hindus and Muslims that turned into a mob-fueled rampage. So the authorities are siding with one side of their citizenry against the other. How far off is it to say to people, move to Pakistan? Ridiculous, right? Yeah, it's ridiculous, right?
You have like an Indian passport. And
Even Pakistan may not accept it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The visa issues and all of that it's difficult.
Yeah. The visa issues.
And then, you have to deal with the consulate. Right?
Yeah, the consulate. Sometimes, too, there's some such practical things, like you have old family members that you have to take care of. And they can't move. The idea of moving them is not possible. The Hindus said stones had been thrown from the direction of the mosque, where Muslims were breaking the Ramadan fast. So they, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, break the fast with one hand and throw stones at Hindus with the other hand. Hard to believe, but let's continue. The Muslims said the Hindu procession had moved towards them with provocative chants. Aren't these people fasting? They're tired, right? You think they're going to pick a fight while fasting? Before any official investigation or court ruling, the Home Minister, Madhya Pradesh, appeared to fault the Muslims and ordered demolitions. No court hearing, nothing. Ordered demolitions right away. So they are the police, the judge, and the executioner. The same swift, one-sided punishment imposed in 2 other states over recent clashes. Now, you throw stones at someone, that's an assault. Bring it to court, show the damages, get paid. In a lawsuit, right? No, the government's getting involved here and saying the houses from which stones were pelted, we will turn them into rubble. Okay? Says Narottam Mishra. So this is basically a pogrom, essentially. Okay? Pakistan has to get involved. What is going on here? Like, khalas? Is Pakistan completely handcuffed that they can't even do a thing? That's what it seems to be. Here you're bulldozing homes. Right?
I think just geopolitics has like changed in the past like 50 to
Everyone's
75
handcuffed,
years.
right?
It's like you can't invade. You can't just walk into another country anymore and be like, hey, this is like, you know, it was normal back in the day. This is like an invasionary force. We're declaring war on you.
Yeah.
Bring out your warriors. We will fight your warriors.
Yeah.
If we defeat your warriors, we now have your country.
Yeah.
Now wars have completely changed into, number one, they involve non-combatants, right? This
Economic warfare.
economic warfare.
Yep.
No, but also even like physical warfare now also involves
100%.
non-combatants.
100%.
Like this is weird.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
historically speaking, this is weird. And number two, it's your country can't defend its sovereignty. Like it's in the case of it doing so, it's okay now. Like for example, there's an argument to be made. I'm not saying that I would support this argument, but there's an argument to be made that Russia invaded Ukraine to defend its sovereignty.
Yeah, from NATO being on its borders. By the way, U.S. initiated this whole thing. By the way, so
100%,
obvious. Yeah.
But it's now like people are how can Russia do this?
Shocked.
How can Russia try to like preemptively defend
Yeah.
itself? When you have the U.S. preemptively like sending drone strikes like halfway across
Iraq,
the world.
Pakistan, Afghanistan. Ridiculous. Totally ridiculous.
I mean, it's an anomaly. Like everything has to be coded in this layer of peace, or nonviolence,
Which is a lie.
It's
Yeah.
a complete lie. It's a facade.
Yeah.
But like also Pakistan also has its own internal issues, right?
Yeah.
With Imran Khan and it's been going on. Him
They
getting,
got drama. Can you come over? We need to get you a back check over here, so that I don't have to keep turning my neck. You know what? We're gonna, because he's not on the camera anyway, right?
Yeah.
Even if you are, we'll put a camera here, and then we need to get himself a back check. Well, they always are making sure these countries, the Muslim countries, are stuck in their own drama, right?
Yeah.
Busy with their own drama. That's the problem. Now listen to this. Communal tensions in Kargan, New Delhi, and Gujarat, and the demolitions that followed in each are part of a worrisome new pattern, according to analysts, activists, and former civil servants. In the past, such clashes were usually set off by a local issue and remained contained to a single area. For example, the Gujarat riots of 2002. 1,000 died. Okay.
This is when Modi, this happened when Modi, he was like the governor of the state of Gujarat.
Oh, okay.
So this was like...
So he's still a local guy at that point.
He was the guy that was like supposed to be the governor managing. So there was a lot of, I think there was a trial actually against Modi for being responsible for this massacre.
Wow.
That's some of the backdrop behind also Modi becoming now this guy that had a trial against for being like genocidal or like invoking these sort of riots that led to the massacre of 100 or 1,000 people.
So he has a track record of doing this.
He does have like a little bit of a track record. Yeah.
The recent violence, the most widespread communal tensions in recent years, played out across several states, multiple clashes with the same characteristics and one-sided punishment. And they are rooted in the rhetoric of right-wing groups at the national level that are targeting Muslims through provocation, a campaign emboldened by the silence of the country's top leaders. The concern is that the clashes will become more frequent. It's going to be essentially a pogrom. The nationwide provocations by right-wing activists, which spread swiftly through social media, inspire local groups who are increasingly turning religious occasions into political events, promoting Hindu-first visions of India and Muslims as second-class citizens. When the recent tensions spilled into violence last month, authorities in those places rushed to dole out punishments that fell disproportionately on the Muslims and circumvented the legal process. After clashes in New Delhi, demolition, mainly of the Muslim-run shops and kiosks, continued for nearly 2 hours after India's Chief Justice issued a halt. Bulldozers swooped up tea stalls and ripped out staircases that left a family stranded without a way down. They destroyed the walls of a mosque before stopping short of a nearby Hindu temple. Officials in the 3 states justified the raising. By the way, I think at this point, difficult or not, you got to find a way out. You can't live like this. They're demolishing your homes, right? Officials in 3 states justified the raising, saying that they were going after illegal encroachment. But the timing, along with the speeches, suggests a link to the clashes, blah, blah, blah. I fear that we are in a stage of perpetual violence, says Asim Ali, a researcher who studied a rise in Hindu nationalism and the Hindutva. Social media, 24-hour news, mean that the Hindutva groups, which are now very tech savvy, graft into local context, a hot button issue, right? And that sparks, these reactions. In an open letter to Modi, more than 100 retired senior civil servants called for an end to hate and vigilante violence. It's not vigilante, it's state-sponsored too, I would say. And that
There's the reason they're sending it to Modi.
Yeah.
How is he going to stop it if it's not like state-sponsored? These aren't like...
State-sponsored.
They're sending it to Modi because...
He has the power to stop it.
Yeah.
Of course, but talking to such an individual is a naive thing. Why would you talk to this person? You know that this person has no care for you, and he wants this. He loves this. What's going on? He wants this. Law, the administration of law, instead of being an instrument for maintaining peace and harmony, has become a means by which the minorities are kept in perpetual fear. Okay. Another group of retired officials countered with a letter in support of Modi, calling concerns empty virtue signaling. What do you mean by provocation? A person says. These are false allegations levied by the perpetrators to save their skins. Hindus are the victims. Oh, wow. Way out in left field, this guy. Hindus are the victims. Kargan is a town of about 200,000. Okay. Has a history of small-scale tensions. 3/4 of the population is Hindu. Hindus and Muslims share the same streets and neighborhoods. Blah, 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 blah. That's it. We've read enough. It's all just repeating the same concepts, that a little clash occurs, and then the Muslims deal with that by one-sided solutions. All right, let's open it up. We got time for about 25 minutes of QA. We could do open QA, but we could try to, if we keep it to the topic, it would be better. Let's see Madiki click what he says here. Pakistan has to jump in and protect the Indian Muslims, or at least welcome to Pakistan. Like, you got to make, whatever the politics is, figure it out. Why is everything so complicated? Like, can't someone just say, figure it out? Like, that's it. I'm making a executive decision here that any Muslim who comes in with what they call it, seeking asylum for their own safety from India, we're going to accommodate them. India is emboldened because the world is not reacting, right? Palestine, Uyghurs, what are they doing? No one's reacting to India the way they're reacting to the Ukraine. We are alone. The Ummah is alone in this world with no helper except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All those big beards that were celebrating that they got rid of Imran Khan. The big bearded senators, the supposedly Muslim candidates, and they don't like him. That's who was behind him, right? Behind the ousting of Imran Khan were the big beards. So where are your big beards when it comes to this? Right? Oh, you don't like Imran Khan because you think he's not Islamic enough, or whatever the reason that they want him out. But this is the issue, right? Putin invades Ukraine under the guise of I'm rescuing Russians in Ukraine from oppression. Why can't Pakistan use the same premise? You gotta get them out somehow. It's ridiculous what's happening here, right? Things can't be that complicated. You gotta simplify things. It's so easy for any politician not to take any action by simply saying, you know what, it's complicated, right?
I think you have to distinguish like what's actually just in your head.
Yeah.
And like what's actually going on like in the ground.
Yeah.
And the only way you can start to like distinguish what's in the head, like what's real and what's just made up in your mind, is by taking action. By taking action, you'll see. Yeah, you'll see. Exactly. Yeah. You see what happens. Or like, okay, exactly, 100%. This is in my head. This was hindsight, 2020. This was in my head.
And also, yeah, exactly. You see the reactions of the world, right? Yeah. You see the reaction. Sometimes people do something and they don't. If they didn't do anything, then you know that it was all in your head. You'll never really know anything until you take action and see the live demonstration.
But the question is Pakistan have enough? Like, I think people are worried about Pakistan being strong enough.
Are they strong enough? Do you rather die? Right? And Maham says it's a very naive solution. It's more complicated. Even if all the Muslims were welcomed in Pakistan, it will not solve the problems. But at least they won't be killed. Right? Yeah, so again, it's trading two different problems. See, that's the thing. You can't ever look for a solution to everything. You got to look at your biggest problem and eliminate that. It doesn't mean you're not going to have big problems, still big problems, but at least you've gotten rid of your biggest problem. So the biggest problem, if you're a Muslim in the UP in one of these areas, you can be killed. Your home is destroyed, right? Okay, so I moved now in Pakistan. Now I got other problems. Yes, you do. We're not saying you're going to have no problems and that it's a solution. The best method to be a pragmatist in problem solving is identify your issues, eliminate the biggest problem, knowing it will result in other problems, but they're lesser. So your net loss is less. Then you repeat the same methodology, right? The same methodology with your new set of problems. Eliminate the biggest problem, knowing full well it may cause other problems that are less or retain problems that are less, okay? And slowly, over time, you start narrowing them down, removing them one thing at a time, one thing at a time. I mean, that's the way that, I think that's the way it's going to work. Hindu minorities are not exactly treated very well in Pakistan either. It may be that they're not, but if we're talking about the Muslim in India who's getting killed, what's happening, how the Pakistanis deal with the Hindus is a whole other issue, right? We got one, two wrongs don't make a right, but also I'm not seeing them being bulldozed, right, by the Muslims. But okay, irrelevant for that. We're dealing with our Ummah right now. Let the Hindus be concerned with their people. And I'll advise the Muslims as a general, treat your minorities correctly, right?
This is like when you have a young kid, right? And then he breaks a glass vase, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, and then you start to scold him, admonish him, and he's like, oh, but your other kid, he got a B in his class.
It's
like,
what does that have to do with anything?
This is unrelated, we deal with, okay, maybe he needs to work harder to get his A.
Exactly.
Right? But you also need to be more careful around the house and not be breaking glass vases, right?
Exactly.
So you need to logic doesn't.
It's the to me it's the practice of staying focused, right? And staying focused means that there are major issues, but I can't look at them right now, right? Because I have to focus on this, right? We have to focus. So, and the issue of fixing a problem is that there's a lot of theory around it. There's a lot of theory around it, but you'll never know. There's a lot of thoughts and suspicions. You never know what's going to happen until you take one step of action, right? And how many people is this affecting? Let's say 1,000 people directly move into Pakistan in a year, right? Is that going to really change Pakistan? 1,000 people? You got 1,000 Pakistanis moving to Edison every year, South Brunswick every year, right? So, how does one discuss this, says Ibrahim Junaid, amongst people who could be offended over this? For example, you have a friend from a certain nation committing atrocities, but you want to raise awareness.
I think I remember I was at this is at NUI actually. We had one of these interfaith dinners. There was a Jewish school that came, and of course there were like the activities where all the teachers are around and whatnot. Yeah. But then eventually it was lunchtime. It was just so the guys were sitting with the students from the Jewish school that were the guys, and the girls were sitting with the female students from there. So NUI boys are sitting, and then of course then teachers aren't around anymore. We can have open conversation now. Right? Yeah. Topic of Israel-Palestine.
Where did you go? Where was it?
This was in the multi-purpose room of ICJ.
Oh, and another school came.
A Jewish school came.
Jewish school came. Okay.
Yes. So this is after all the activities done. There's everyone's where all the teachers were. Now we're just sitting for lunch.
Yeah.
And it's just we can have pure unadulterated conversation.
So then what happened?
Of course, the topic of
Nadi.
Israel Palestine comes up, right?
And Nadi was
and
there.
Then someone, I think one of the Jewish students, but he's like, so what do you guys think about Israel and Palestine? I remember this so distinctly. There was one kid in our class, zero hesitation. He's like, yeah, I think what Israel's doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And it just stopped there. And it's just no bother for no, it's just wrong.
Yeah. What 1 + 1 is 2. Why are we going to say, well, you know what, from one perspective?
You don't really have to, you don't need to, I think one of the biggest problems is we try to act defensive.
Yeah.
You don't need to defend, this is it.
That's it. That's my belief.
This is what's happening.
Yeah, these are the facts. So a lot of people are just naysayers here. They're saying, going to Pakistan, Hisham at-Chishti, a solution through Pakistan wouldn't be a practical one. Why not?
I think it's one of the biggest things is like, okay, and this is such a like, I think these topics.
Have we tried it? Has anyone tried it?
These topics are so.
How is it not practical?
Because like it's like, okay, there's so many parts of it. It's like, okay, do protests work, for example? Like this is another thing that always comes up inevitably in this conversation. Like, should we be protesting? Does it matter if we protest?
Yeah.
It's okay. Then some people may, we should protest even if we know the protests are ineffective, because it's the best. Like it's like taking the asbab, and then Allah will reward you for taking the asbab, and He will like step in that case, right?
Yeah.
But then there's the argument like, why are you doing something if you know it's ineffective?
Yeah. Here's the thing.
There's so many sides to this.
There is, but it's the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man lam yahtam," to be concerned. He did not say whoever does not take in action. Right? We're transmitting this concern to the next generation. How do you know the next generation won't have the power? They might have the power. All we're doing is transmitting the heart, the concern. And I'm telling you, if let's just look at this very simplistically, or simply, not simplistically. You can make up complications all you want. If your house is being bulldozed in the country, you move to the country next door. Okay. Now you're going to deal with the visa issues. What I'm saying is, it seems like it makes sense. If I'm a Muslim country, the Muslims next door to me are being abused, I start opening some asylum. Why can the U.S. have asylum? You can come to the U.S. on asylum. I'm not promising you I'm going to give you a home and food. You go find your own shelter. At least you won't be killed, though, right? You're just eliminating the greatest of all problems. And you're going to tell me that adding 5,000 people to the country of Pakistan in a year is going to do anything? I guarantee you more people are leaving Pakistan. You're just replenishing your population.
Perhaps even like another perspective is to move within India to an area that's less.
Go within India where there's no drama, right?
There's less. There's probably like there isn't
a
lot of areas that have like no drama. Places that have less. Like alhamdulillah, like where my family is. Like, we're like I think in an area we're in Bombay, so in the suburbs of Bombay, and in that area it's not. Alhamdulillah, things aren't too difficult for my family.
Yeah.
Right. My family also is like middle to upper class. So
Bombay is a safe area.
It's more multicultural.
Multicultural. Okay.
It's more multicultural than say perhaps like a place like UP, which has a strict ideology. It's more like of an international city.
Yeah.
So like I think moving within the country is also.
It's another possibility.
It's another possibility, yeah.
Yeah, and they probably need money to move. We need to support them.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of charities to support just specifically this cause.
I think what would be really cool is like in the future of these episodes, like if we got for someone from like that knows like the history of India, like we have like there are people within our own communities that are like closer to these areas of UP, like people from Hyderabad that have closer connection to them. So we can perhaps like next episode just bring one of these individuals on and have more of an open conversation with them.
Listen to this. Khadija says, this is a very important question, right? I think it will make life more difficult for the remaining Muslims in India because one of the issues they face is being accused of being Pakistani stooges. This will embolden them even more. Here's my thing about pragmatics and priorities. If you're being killed and your family's home is being bulldozed, you at this moment in time are not yet in the position to care about anyone else. The perceived, not guaranteed, perceived ripple effect, okay? You don't have time to worry about that, right? If I'm being chased by a dog at this moment, okay, can I worry about anything else except saving myself from being eaten right now by a dog or bit by a dog?
Make it a bear.
A bear. A cow. Killer cows. The killer cows are coming after you right now. What you have to do is just focus on the one problem that's facing you directly. You have absolute certain knowledge of this problem. How my solution is going to affect other Indian Muslims is a maybe. It's speculative. Maybe harms them, maybe not. So what's more important? This is like kalam here. What is known for certain qat'i or the dhanni speculative? No, the qat'i. Absolute. We know for sure that this is happening. So I go and I save my tail first, right? And then we'll see what happens after that, right? So Maham says, we've always taken people in. We took the most amount of Afghan refugees. Thank you. So tell the commenter above, okay, that there's no issue, right? We've done it before. And here you're taking people who are probably, and not to like sound offensive or anything, but they will probably be fit in better in the community than the Afghans, right? Yeah. Afghans have their own language.
They're ethnically very different.
They're ethnically different. They're used to a different lifestyle. India, they're probably going to bring in skilled labor to your country, right? They're going to speak English. They're going to be able to open up IT or something like that, right? Okay, next. Helping Hand Relief is providing the support. All right, good. Helping Hand. Thank you very much, Iman JPEG. All right. I accidentally, unfortunately, refreshed the Instagram page. So if you... Who? YouTube. All right, so let's turn to YouTube. I accidentally refreshed the Instagram page. So put your comments again if I didn't read them. But Maham says they accepted the Afghans. If you have accepted the Afghans, that worked. At least their lives are saved. They live a normal life. Now they're immigrants. Yes, it's a shot below living in your own country. It's better than getting bombed by the Americans. Okay.
With the YouTube comments.
Maharashtra, we don't have any drama here.
Yeah,
we have Hindus
Bombay.
Fasting. Okay, so go to Bombay, go to Maharashtra. Become a Maharaja. All right. Let's go to Ryan. What do you have?
If Hinduism is all about reincarnation and you break the cycle by being righteous and kind and nonviolent, then how does this square away from oppressing Muslims?
Tell them, Muslims of India, tell them, I was a Hindu in a previous life. And I've been recreated now as a Muslim because I evolved up. I leveled up in this video game of yours. They probably view oppressing Muslims as an act of worship because their priests are promoting this. This is jihad for them. We are the kafirs for these people. All right, all right, here's a question. If your poor Muslim neighbor runs to you and seeks protection in your house, it becomes fard for you to protect them. Thank you. Let's stop talking this politics and academia and talk common sense. I have a loaf of bread. You're starving. I split my loaf of bread with you. That's how simple the math equation is. You guys are getting bulldozed. Forget this, Pakistan. Let's get Pakistan out of the equation. He said Bombay. I'm a Bombay Muslim. My UP Muslims are getting their homes bulldozed. We're not just saying that they're being mistreated, they're getting fired. Homes bulldozed. You Bombay Muslims take action. I'm sure they're taking action. We just don't know about it, right? You got to bring things down to the simple. And I guarantee you, people who do not want to act, those are the people who say, oh, it's complicated. It's political. Oh, there's many, like the academic who doesn't want to take a position on something. Oh, there's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of things to discuss. It's not that complicated. It's more complicated than you think, right? I hate this created hardship. You're creating difficulty.
You just make dua.
Take action.
Make dua for
yeah.
guidance, and then you just take action based off of that. Yeah.
Take action. وخلاص.
الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما